Shalom. When the start of souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh's real name, of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah or Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh, and the Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba meaning in, Her meaning then, Sham meaning names, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. I was reasoning, with a brother, the other day in his, personal situation and whatever, what have you, family members or whatever, right? And just reasoning and stuff. And then it was a statement, was made, which was, the sorry state of Jake, right? So I just kind of wanted to do a video on that because, hey, look, man, our people, our people are gone, man. Our people are through. Right, they follow after every doctrine outside of the truth, right? They're wise to do evil, as we've got in the coming up precept, and yeah, man, they just as a nation, we just through, man, right? It is the Lord basically brought us down as a nation, right? We went into captivity, us and our king, right, King David, right? So this is Isaiah 1. I'm going to start from 3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Right? And the fact that as a nation, for the most part, we don't know that Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai is our power. What do our nations do? What does the nation do? Right? They start worshipping other gods, wood and stone. Right? We can grab that in what do you call it? In the curses, right? This is Deuteronomy 28th chapter, and the what do you call it? I'll start from 60. I'll read the 64th verse, but they're both basically saying the same thing, 36 and 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, right? So that's one thing we have discontinued from our heritage, right? So as a nation, we don't know, we don't know who we are. Right, and as such, right, well, what's that saying? He that stands for nothing, right? Let me just look that up. It's for nothing, fall for anything, right? Just, bring that into the screen here, right? Says if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? And that's it, because our people don't, they don't know about who they are. That's why you'll see Jake, when, there's old adage, old example of when Jake will become a Muslim, for example, they'll become more Muslims than an Ishmaelite, right? You also got the account in Hosea where it says Ephraim is joined unto idols, okay? So let me read this, right? It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods. Right? It says, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? So even all of these different heathen gods wherein Jake so all of these heathen nations wherein Jake was scattered, what did Jake start doing? They started worshipping their gods. Right? And as such, the Lord would jack us up even more. Right, this is Jeremiah 17 and 4, as quoted earlier on. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Right, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. One of the reasons why the Lord is pissed is because Jake be worshiping these heathen gods. Right, and these heathen gods don't do anything, right? They are but wood and stone, as we just read. This is Psalms 96 and 4. For Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are what? Are idols. But Yahweh made the heavens, right? So the only one to be worshipped is Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, right? But in our lost state, right, in this sorry state that we're in, hey, you got Jake be worshipping, Vishnu and Vashti and Cesare, right? I mean, and that's it, man. I mean, Jake be worshipping like a straight up, a cracker, man, right? be looking at you sideways if you say anything about it. But as we just read here, right, this is one of the reasons we got, taken into captivity, right? For we have kindled a fire in man anger, which shall burn forever, right? So the Lord was pissed that we was doing certain things like that. And one of the judgments was that we discontinued, we forgot who we were, right? Every other nation has a real identity, if you will, but Jake, for the most part, don't know who the hell they are, right? The Southern Kingdom believed that they were nothing but slaves, right? Little did they understand that they are of the greatest people on the face of the planet Earth. All right, so continuing on, as Isaiah 1 and 3 says, the ox knoweth his own, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. Sinful nation. And man, you can't tell, you can't say Jake ain't wicked, man, right? Jake be doing some of the most wicked, most grimy things you can think of, man. Right? But we're supposed to be the children of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Yet we're profaning his name whithersoever we go, right? This is into Isaiah the 36th chapter, which we're going to get later on. So the seed of evildoers, right? Children that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, they are gone away backwards, right? So the Lord is basically, he's pissed at Jake, because we're supposed to be the holy and righteous people, right? The Lord gave us the laws, and what did we do? We transgressed the laws. Hey, whilst Moses was getting the laws, what was Israel doing? Israel was making idols, man. Okay. It says, why should you be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. Right? From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it through, right? But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, nor mollified with ointment, right? So through, and through, right? And hey, once again, that's just the sorry state of our people, man, right? This is Jeremiah 4:22 now, right? It says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. Right, they are sottish children, right, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge, right? And they, these, JJ, will make jokes about it, but it's ultimately true. Jay will know how to, chop up a brick, in 6 different ways. Make sure you don't get caught. Right, make sure to all of the little intricacies that needs to get the highest yield, if you will, right, off of their drug dealing behaviors, right? But even not only just that, right, even because we focus a lot on of the gangbangers of our people, but then again, let's not forget, right, the so-called for instance, the so-called righteous. We got coons amongst our people, right? The ones that as a they just are Esau's whipping sticks. For instance, you got your Lenny Henrys, right? Guys like that who just go around smiling, being a jive monkey. If that's let me look that up. All right, jive monkey. All right, jive monkey. It means like you are going to do something, but you end up not doing it. You was going to clean up the kitchen, but you didn't. Okay, that means. I feel like that's not the meaning that I've come across before, but it is what it is, right? But that's it, Jake knows how to go through and do loads of different wicked things, right? But to know the Lord, right, to carry themselves in the best way that they can, they don't know how to do that, right? Now we are coming into this truth, right? The Lord starts, cleaning us up. For instance, scriptures speak about, the renewing of your mind. This is Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, right? So there's an image that Jake is supposed to adhere to as given by Esau, right? And we shouldn't be conformed to that image, right? Yeah, we've got brothers that are more Greek. I'm more of a Greek brother, right? You got brothers that are more quote unquote barbarian or whatever, what have you, right? But even in all of that, right, guess what? Once again, you got your rough brothers, your smooth brothers, your soft brothers, whatever, right? Even in all of that, we're still Israelites. We carry ourselves like an Israelite. You can have a brother that's Greek, but he ain't just cooning around when he's at the job, like you see other Israelites do, right? They'll be working with you, so they'll have the smoothest face, right, with the fucking, with the razor bumps, right? Would you call it, just the most coonish smile you've ever seen in your life. But then you got your rough jakes, for example, right, where those rough jakes are just doing all kind of madness, right? And the Lord has brought brothers out of both of those lifestyles, right? Why? And then guess what? He's put a new spirit on them. He's put a new look on them, to the point where people struggle to, because in this world everyone has to fit in a box, right? People struggle to put brothers into boxes because we don't fit in any of these boxes, right? Because ultimately we're in the box of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and people don't know it. Okay, so I'll read that again. This is Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Right? Because when we're out and about, we're ambassadors for Yahweh Shai. If we're gonna find that real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 5:20. It says, now then we are ambassadors for Mashiach, as though the Most High did beseech you by us. We pray you, in Mashiach's stead, be ye reconciled to the Most High, right? And as an ambassador, we got to carry ourselves a certain way when we're out and about in this world. We can't just, we can't just be doing whatever the hell we want, because ultimately what we do, our actions, reflects on this truth, reflects on the whole ministry, right? Imagine you got someone who's a thief on the side, right? They go to camp, but they're a thief on the side. And then, the person they stole from comes past the camp. What are they going to think of the whole ministry? They're going to be like, but that person stole from me, right? They're going to think it's all a bunch of BS, right? So when we're out and about, right, we got to carry ourselves a certain way, okay? So back to the priest, I think that's the point there on Jeremiah 4. Right, our people, man, are wise to do evil. They're through, right? Proverbs 12:26, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. Right, so especially when you start seeing Jake being, amongst, as was given the example of for instance, the Greek Jake or whatever, what have you, around, or for instance, around these Edomites, those Jakes be some of the worst Jakes you're gonna be around, man. Right, because they'll do anything to stay in master's good stead, right? Like I said, you've got the different ways that Jake are through, right? Yeah, you got the Jakes that are bugged out, but then you also got the Jakes that are just straight up in this society, and it's sad to see, right? You tell them that they're the most precious people in the world, and they're basically telling you, nah, I want to be with Esau, right? This is Jeremiah 2 and 14, I believe. Yes, this is Jeremiah 2:14. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Right? Because Jake has lost that ruling class mentality. Okay, Jake is just happy to be on the bottom, right? As long as he's at the top, Jake don't mind, right? But yeah, once again, with this one, it's more, when Jake starts being around these heathens, what do he start doing? He starts, moving like those heathens, right? A precept to that is Jeremiah 2:33. This is why trimmest thou thy way to seek love. Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Yes, it's Lamentation 3:45. Says thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. So yeah, literally just trash, right? Was, right? Oh shit, didn't want to do that. Right, so thou hast made us as the offscouring and refuse in the midst of the people. All our enemies have hope in their mouth against us, right? So all these heathen nations are round about us. What they're seeing Jake low. They're seeing us just in this sorry ass state, right? They're seeing us in this sorry ass state, where once again, whether it's the Jakes that are just strung out on drugs, the Jakes that perpetuate all of the negative stereotypes of our people, right? Or the Jakes that are just all up in Esau's system, but the heathens are like, bro, like this motherfucker don't like, for instance, which a lot of them would have, not a lot of them, but you would have had Jake amongst them, right? But there's the stories, the accounts of the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese were like, yo, why y'all fighting for Esau? They were perplexed. They were looking at Jake like, yo, why y'all fighting for Esau? Go home. Right? This ain't your war, right? But once again, Jake has that Stockholm syndrome, right? This is Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right? All thine enemies have opened up their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. Right? So you precept that with Psalms the 83rd chapter about how all of these heathen nations have been confederate to bring Israel down. Right? So they're happy to see us in this lower state. Right? They're happy to see us, begging Esau for these crumbs. They're happy to see us killing each other and, just being dumb. Right? Because what really sparked off the statement anyway was just hearing some of the thought processes that Jake has as a nation. It's just like, bro, how did you, like, why did you do that? Like, why? Hey, like some of the things Jake do is like, why? Okay, but that's it. In Revelation 11 and 8 says, and their dead bodies, which is spiritually dead, because our people are spiritually dead. Proverbs 21:16, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Okay, so it says, and the dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, so spiritually dead, as we just read, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, right? It says, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Right? It says, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because the two prophets tormented them that dwell on earth. Right? They that dwell upon the earth, Psalms 83 says the Israelites were the gifts that the nations were sending one to another. Right? And that's it. So these heathen nations, they've been happy seeing us at the bottom. But this now is why they're getting scared, right? Because the Lord is putting a spirit upon Jake now, right? The Lord is rousing Jake up again, right? To the point that, they're seeing, the spiritual army being set up, right? That 3.5 days represents roughly 350 years, right? So from around about the 70s, right, is when this truth, started being more and more pushed out through the spirit and power of the Lord, and to fulfill prophecies. For instance, somebody was when they set their nest among the stars, right? Then shall I bring them down? And ever since then, America's been going down, right? And then what? The Lord's been putting the spirit of Israel back into the earth, up until in these days, right? You've had a lot of talk about the Israelites. Obviously, you've got the apostles on down, and then their teachers before them, right? They've been out. The apostles have been out there for 30 plus years, right? Starting off with the apostle Tar, 30 plus years, right? Prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. And these heathen nations are what? They're getting scared, right? Because Jake is moving from this sorry state, right, to this regal state, right? This is Ezekiel the 37th chapter. Let's start from the top. It says, the hand of Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh and set me down in the midst of the valley, which is full of bones, right? Lowland, valleys of lowland, which is referring to America, right? Psalms 23rd chapter, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It says, and caused me to pass by round about them, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And that's where Jake is, is, right? Obviously, the Lord has woken up a whole load and that, and this is army that we're about to read about, is starting to stand up all over the world. But there's a lot of our people that are just dry bones, and you see them walking by, and then what do you call it? You consider this question, right? Ezekiel 37:3 says, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, right? Thou knowest, right? Because certain jakes, you see them, and you're just thinking, damn, this is the son of the Most High. Like you know it's a jake, but then the level of throughness, either way, either spectrum, right? Whether it's, like I said, strung out on drugs, or just in this system, just, but like I work with I work with some jakes like that, man. They're just in this system, right? We're joyous to take their venom juice. I got my shot, right? Joyous to take the venom juice, joyous to be out, doing the things of this world, right? Either way, can these bones live? It says, and he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. And once again, from the apostles and their teachers before them on down, right? That is what has been happening, right? The message of you are Israel. Because what does Israel mean? Israel means you're the son of God, right? Yah Sha'Allah, he's the son of God, right? He's Yah, Shah, Prince, Allah, power, God, right? And the prince is what is the son, right? So he's the son of God, right? And once you start understanding that, once you start really embracing that, you start to carry yourself differently, right? Once we spoke earlier on about the boxes that Esau wants to put you in, right? You start moving away from those boxes, right? You start being like, you know what? I'm a son of God, right? Esau says Jake can only do X, Y, and Z. But then when you understand you're Israelite, you're like, man, I can do whatever the Lord allows me to do. Right? There ain't no limit that Esau can put on me. Right? There you be reasoning, speaking with brothers, and then brothers will be, telling you about stuff they done. You're like, right, but we can do that. But that's it. That's the spirit of the Lord, right? Because we are the Israelites. And once you understand what that means, right? Once again, we're just at that point limited to what the Lord allows us to do, right? Says, thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, right? Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live, right? And I'll lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, right? And ye shall say that I am Yahweh, right? So in fact, this is actually a cut, right? Because in the Hebrew, right, Yahweh, right, Yahweh, right, that's the name of the Lord. So basically, when this breath was to be put back into us, right, we are supposed to know the name of the Lord. So to say that you're the army, but also say that you don't know the name of the Lord, you're going off. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, and there was no breath in them. Then he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. And that's what these heathen nations are seeing, and they're scared, right? It says Ezekiel 36 and 23, right? For I'll sanctify my great name, which was profane among the heathen, right? So when you look at the sorry state of Jake at the moment, man, whichever way you cut it, right? Jake is profaning the name of the Lord, right? It says, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. It says, and the heathen shall know that I am Yahweh, saith the Lord power, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. So the Israelites that the Lord is waking up, right? They're basically being used to sanctify the name of the Lord, right? The heathens are seeing it. It says, for I'll take you from among the heathen, right, or wherein we were all scattered, and gather you out of all countries, and will bring you into your own land. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols will I cleanse you, right? So the Lord is gonna fix this up, right? It says, a new heart I will give you, and this is the second covenant, and a new spirit will I put within you. And that new heart is a heart of what it's going to say. He says, and I'll take you and I'll take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I'll give you a heart of flesh. Right? With the heart of flesh, right, we will never be able to sin again. Right? And since the wages of sin is death, right? we will never die, because we will be unable to sin. So now I'll put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them. Right, and ye shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and ye shall be my people, and I will be your God. I will also save you from all your uncleanness, and I will call for the corn and will increase it, and lay no famine upon you. And I'll just end with Wisdom, the 5th chapter, right? It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors, right? When they see it, right? And they're starting to see, this army, although this is talking about the ultimate salvation, right? These heathen nations, they're looking at Jake right now, and they're just like, rah, okay. Standing boldly, telling these heathens that they're going into captivity for their crimes against Israel, right? This is when they say it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, like it says, really talking about this, the salvation, right? And shall be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation, right? By way of the chariots, what the so-called white man calls UFOs, UAPs, right? Depending on what country you're in, right? So far beyond all that they look for. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom he hath sometimes in derision, a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. And right now, hey, you would think our end is without honor. But guess what? As it's going to say, they have erred in that, right? It says, how is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot among the saints? Therefore, we have erred from the way of truth, because the truth is we are the Israelites, right? And the Lord is punishing us for our wickedness. It says in Amos 2, right? You only are of the people of the earth have I known, therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities, right? As therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where they lay no way. But as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? Right? And that's it. So, although Jake right now is in a sorry state, the Lord is washing us up. The Lord is preparing us, and the Lord is, getting ready to, make a what do you call it? Make an example with us. So as always, Lord, what I was edifying. Till next time, we say Shalom.